Right, good evening everyone. Welcome back to FQ Racing League Division 2. Today we are here at the Circuit of the Americas for yet another instalment of this captivating championship. And with me today is not Finexi, he is not available, so we have got the best stand-in that we could possibly get for you. It's Crayon, how are you?
I'm not too bad now. I can't lie. The next best thing.
Of course, wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly.
So it's great to have you with me for this one. As we
Yeah.
know, Division 2 is so hectic at times, so I'm sure you won't be disappointed with that
Oh yeah. Well,
at
I've
all.
yeah, as some of you might know, I've raced in Div 2. My fair share of times. I would race in it more, but like I have a half hour between my work ending and then having to get home and set up everything, um, to actually race, and I don't get enough time really to practice that either. So like if I had the time to practice, if I had the time to be here to actually get here in time to do it, then I'd do it much more often than I do. But yeah, I'm able to make it for comms like barely. Like I got home probably about 3 minutes ago. I'm still in my uniform, so
The
I haven't
commitment
changed yet.
is definitely all there. So yeah, thanks for
Exactly.
stepping in at the last minute. Our first man out
So
on track is the Williams of Ecoy. So I guess we'll follow him on his outlap and see how he gets on. This track is one of the favourites, especially the first sector of a lot of drivers. That first S section, very reminiscent of Maggots Beckett's Silverstone, and also the first sector of Suzuka. So it's going to be great to see the drivers attacking that for their qualifying laps.
yeah, I quite like COTA. I know there's a few people who don't, but COTA is definitely one of my favorites. I really like the way that it flows, the way that it like I do know that Lance in particular isn't a big fan of it.
Oh, okay, that might be some very relevant information that we've got.
Yeah, if now his opinion might have changed, but I remember him telling me that he does not like COTA because it's just the the bits that Herman Tilke thought were good in different tracks all mashed together
It
into one,
is.
which it is the idea of the track. Like it's got the Suzuka S has got big back straight, it's got like some kind of weird. I don't really know what those weird 90-degree turns are, or if they're based on anything, or if that was just Herman Tilke drunk and couldn't draw a straight line. Like
Very possibly, yeah.
I yeah, I don't know
It's
what
quite a
that is.
tricky track. A lot of different styles of corners and also the long straight. So it's good for racing as well. We've got
Mm.
plenty of opportunities for overtakes, which is what we want. Not that Division 2 really needs any help with overtakes. We've seen over
Yeah, very
the
true.
season that even at the worst tracks for overtaking, they still somehow manage to do it. As we follow Ecoy on his lap through the first sector, hooks it up really nicely, not leaving anything on the table in terms of getting track limits. And then he goes into sector 2. So obviously, Lance leading the championship as it stands. He took back the lead of the championship from Skip in the last round, as Skip had that incident. So we've got to watch out for that. But Lance, once again, championship leader. Who are you looking out for in that fight at the front?
Oof. Yeah, no, I'd probably stick with Lance as well because they're very closely matched up the top there. There's like it's very up in the air. But I think quali, these kind of first couple moments in quali is going to show us quite who's on the pace, who knows this track, who's good at it.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I really don't know this. To me, anyway, it's very up in the air. So
yeah. We've seen a trend over the season of Lance not quite having the pace over one lap and then coming alive in the race,
yeah,
and Skip and Kaz just being really consistent over all sessions. So, um, hopefully for Lance he can buck that trend as Ecoy invalidates at the final corner, so he will not set a lap time.
ooh,
So the next one to cross the line will be Big Boris and then AJ, and he goes P1 with 34.2. So good luck from him, and then we'll see how the rest of them come along. Polly goes into third. Ghost into second, so we're going to start getting a lot of laps. I think loads of people on a lap, so just kind of need to pick one person and stick with him. We'll go Lance. We'll go for Lance because we were talking about him. So he makes his way into the final sector now.
I need to get the
Cody into P2 to make it Alpha Tauri 1-2. It's a good lap, only 3/10 off his teammate. We have seen Cody when he does race, when he doesn't have exams, is very quick and can match the pace. I believe he's got a top 5 this season, so he is capable of really good pace. And also AJ's become a bit of a P3 merchant, so we'll see how he gets on. As Skip, true to form, goes P1, but only by half a tenth or so. Well, a tenth, and then Lance takes it away straight away.
Very, very close lap times here. There's very small deltas between all of them. It's only about like a tenth between each time, roundabout in the top 3, and then going down to the top 5. They're all 134s. So this is gonna be fairly close, I'd say. But obviously we still have track evolution and people kind of getting to grips with it again to look out for. So.
Well, it's just typical, isn't it? I say Lance has been struggling in qualifying. He puts it provisional pole
Exactly.
by half a tenth. But yeah, it wouldn't be me commentating without a bit of a curse. So
it's the commentator's curse.
Yeah, exactly. I was following Nick Furyman. He invalidated, so he'll have to go again. Currently down in 14th, not set a lap. And then Rob, I believe, will be the next person to set a competitive lap time. Another person who definitely has pace to be up there in the top 5 in the Red Bull.
Yeah, there's a good few people in here that haven't set laps yet. I'm expecting to see climb up there. I'm interested to see. Ooh, who I saw?
That was Rob going to P5, very slightly ahead of his son Cody. So those two, they very rarely can be separated by very much. The father-son duo, and once again 4th and 5th for them.
I did only just notice though that the big string of numbers after Rob and Cody's names are actually the same, and I don't know how I didn't notice that until right now.
I don't think that's a coincidence, although we have got a purple sector for Kaz now, and we know how fast he can be. As Spazerman goes 3 tenths actually, over 3 tenths ahead of Lance into P1. That's a great lap for the Alfa Romeo man, who didn't do very well on his first flyer, and we'll watch with great interest the Aston Martin driver of Kaz. He comes around the final corner, doesn't invalidate like a lot of the others. Short run to the line, and he goes P1 with a great lap, a 33.1, and that is so clear of the rest of them.
That's an amazing lap. Wow. Okay. We'll see if people can match that pace. That's a Verstappen level gap there.
That's a huge statement from Kaz. He is well and truly in this championship fight. We know we talk about Lance and Skip a lot, but Kaz is right there with him, and he's got the form coming to these last 3 races. He's been the man on the pace.
He really does. Like that just shows. Like that just shows completely how much he wants this. This is that's insane. That's such a good lap.
It is. 6 tenths clear, over 6 tenths clear of nearest competitor in Spazerman as we watch Ghost currently sitting P9 to the line, and he moves up to P6, which is a very good lap, very respectable from him up into the top 6. Great job from him. And we try and have a look at people on a lap. We've got Golf on a lap, currently down in 17th. He's one of the people that needs to get a time on the board. Pole sitter, of course, Golf this season. So we can expect a good lap from him too. Thank you for the chat. So we got a lot of quad support in his home race. So go quad is the message.
Quad's home race.
It is, yeah.
I forgot about that. So we're gonna have to expect a fairly big lap from him then, with the high expectations from the home crowd.
Well, he's currently sitting P11, which is good, and we know that quad is usually better in the race. He has scored points, of course, this season. So we'll see how he gets on, and I'm sure he can go quicker than that 35.2 as well, as we see Lance now coming through into the penultimate corner. Really easy to run wide and go off, but he doesn't. He keeps it within the white lines to the final corner where so many others have fallen foul of track limits. He doesn't, to the line, and he does set a time, and it's 7th place. So good lap there for the Haas driver.
Yeah, not too bad at all. It seems that the general pace is kind of around that 134, but then we have our top 2, top 3 up there, very, very close, or very far away, honestly. Kaz, that lap is just that lap's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much. Obviously, we don't know how much the other guys have in the tank, and we also don't know what the weather's doing in the next session, and what the setup situation is. But you know, it could be a situation of Kaz might not even have to go again. It's that much of a good lap. We'll see. AJ currently on a lap as well in
I mean,
P5.
that could save him some soft tyres as well. That could play very nicely for him.
Yeah, you're right. And because of the shorter race, the 35%, having an extra set of soft tyres can be very vital, especially if there is a late safety car. Having that fresher set can make all the difference. As we watch AJ now, currently sitting P5 on a 34.2, so he only a couple of tenths, and he'd be right up there with the likes of Lance and Skip. If he can, and he was 4 tenths up at the last split. Let's see what he can do through the final sector.
Ange just went P3.
Yeah, great lap from Ange. The track's definitely evolving, and AJ takes that third place straight away from Ange. So great lap from both of them, and I think the track is definitely getting better.
Times are coming down, but they're still not quite catching up to Kaz just yet.
Lance is on the lap, and there's a Ferrari in the way there. I'm not quite sure if he got in the way. He's still up, Lance, to be fair. He's still almost 3 tenths up. This would put him around about AJ's pace, depending on what he can do in the final sector. Lance really desperately needs a good qualifying session here for the championship. As he comes around that long right-hander into the penultimate corner, keeps it nice and tidy. That is one thing Lance is. He's very clean, very tidy, and he can always put a lap together when he needs it. And he goes P2 with a lovely lap.
Very nice. He's dancing that track limits line there through the final corner. I saw is very, very close to validating. But yes, he is very good with his positioning and stuff on the track, and he's especially in the race, he's he can be very, very consistent, which is definitely what gets him up the points. Like, I've seen some incredible drives from him, kind of coming down from like bottom of the grid up into points and even up to podiums. So, you know,
also a multiple point scorer in Division 1 as well when he's reserved for there, Lance. So he's a class act, we know that. Currently sitting P2. Also, Stevie, the next man into the 33.9s, moved himself up to P7. So Skip is going to have to pull out a lap here. He is a couple tenths up, but it's not enough based on he'd want to be on pole. We know he can do that. So let's see what he can do coming to the line. Skip, only P4. Interesting.
Still nothing to sneeze at, but you know, it's I think he may have wanted a little bit more as Rob goes into P3 there with a 133.7.
A great lap from Rob, and I tell you what, Kaz has not come out since he set that lap time, and I think he's probably feeling quite confident on that 33.1 that he won't have to come out again.
Yeah, I mean, he may do for a final push. We'll have to see kind of how this quick stint of people flying around does, but yeah, he very well could be safe on pole here and save himself some soft tires, which I think he's definitely saved himself one set.
Yeah, at least one set.
At least one set, which I think that's definitely played into his hand very well. So if we have a safety car laid into it, that could really give Cal a good chance.
Yeah, definitely. And we know he's quick in the race too, so advantage Kaz at this stage with 5 minutes to go in qualifying. And I believe we've got a bit of a lull out on track now. We've got a few people coming out quite early on their outlaps, but I don't think there's anyone on a lap at the moment.
I think Golf maybe?
I think Golf's just done a lap, and because he's harvesting ERS, so yeah, and he's low on fuel, so he's definitely coming in this time. Oh, we've got all day on a lap down in 15th place, so he'll want to improve. We'll watch this lap in the Ferrari.
Oh yeah.
The only Ferrari, actually, the only person on the grid who doesn't have a teammate today. So, see what he can do.
Prayerfully. The end of the straight into this little kind of hairpinny type thing. I'm not really sure what you would even call that. Really.
I guess it would be a hairpin. You could class it as a hairpin, yeah.
It's kind of a hairpin. It's more just a very tight turn, honestly. Into these kind of weird chicaney S's, and then back down this nice big right-hander, and into the second last corner, down onto the straight. But didn't quite see what his sector time was there.
Nope.
But come around the last turn and up to the line. See how he does here. Oh, that's out.
He kept the lap, but he was 4 tenths down anyway, so not an improvement for all day, unfortunately. But he might just about have time. Actually, I don't think he will have time to do another one with 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock. He'll be pushing it for sure.
He might get round again if he's able to harvest this lap, but he will be on older rubber. So oh yeah, no, I'm just seeing things on my end. So yeah, I mean, if he is able to get back around, he could do another lap, but I doubt it.
This is getting towards a business end now. Everyone's going to be doing their final lap. Simi down in 13th, definitely going to want to get a better lap in. He's on an out lap, and I believe he'll be the next person to start his final flying lap of the session. So we'll watch him, see what he can do. The top 5 all in the pits as it stands at the moment. So who's going to blink first out of those top 5 and go out for their final run? Is Kaz going to come out, more to the point?
I don't know if he will. By the looks of it, if he's coming out, he's going to have to do it now. If he wants to get around in time to catch the flag.
Right, I don't know. Simi might catch a bit of traffic here. There's the Williams, that's Skip coming out the pit lane, and there's Spazza Man down there, the Alfa Romeo, but they should keep out the way. They do. Into the S section so quick. Look at the downforce. Bit wide that part. He would want to keep it more to the left hand side, but he's still 2.5 tenths up on his previous lap. So despite that little mistake, he's still up, and he navigates that part very well indeed. Uses all the curb on the inside down towards this very awkward braking zone. Another kind of hairpin. You've got to really get a good exit. That's the main part. Onto this long straight. Get the DRS wide open on the back of that Mercedes, as he just bears slightly to the right, flat out, and then get ready to jump straight back on the brakes. About 100 metre board, clip the apex, don't take too much curb, and then into this really fiddly section. A double apex right, and then a double apex left. Really difficult on the rear tyres this part. When we get to the race, we'll see a lot of rear limited wear coming in, and then long right-hander. Stick to the right as much as can to minimise the distance, but also you don't want to scrub off speed, so it's a bit of a balance. And then into the penultimate corner, really easy to invalidate on the exit, and then into the final corners. Looks like a good lap from Simi. We'll see where this puts him. Currently P13, and he goes P10.
And Kaz is out on his on an out lap as well, so we may see an improvement from Kaz, or at least an attempt at an improvement. But a lot of these people, will they catch the flag? There's a few people going out here who are either just coming off their out laps or they're...
Stevie up into P3. Sorry to interject there, but that's a really good lap.
Okay. Whoa.
And very unexpected. So
Didn't even see that.
yeah, very good lap from Stevie. I just caught it on the stream. And like you said, yeah, it's going to be close with Skip. And yeah, Rob's not going to get another one, but Skip
and Rob,
will just about make it, I think. Yeah, Skip's going to make it. He's timed that to perfection. He'll have the best track for his lap.
Rob's a bit far away. I'm not sure if he's going to catch that. But Kaz is on his flying lap here, just coming out of sector 1. As he's coming through the...
Rob made it by like a fraction of a second. He made it. That is incredible stuff. Wow.
Very, very good timing there from Rob. Kaz coming onto the back straight now. A little bit of traffic in front of him with his teammate Ghost, actually, but I don't know if Ghost is on flying lap or not. Could be giving him a tow, actually. That could have helped him quite a lot.
Yeah, that's good teamwork from the Aston Martin as AJ puts himself up into P3, taking that position away from Stevie Max. So still a lot of competitive laps, and Kaz is 2 tenths up still off that lap. So that tow really working, and the teamwork of the Aston Martin boys.
We very well may see a 132. Most people are
Lance 4 tenths up. Lance is 4 tenths up too through the second sector. Let's see what he can do as he comes around the final corner. And he goes P1! A 33.0, a great lap. So what can Kaz do in response? He's coming around the final corner now. Has he got enough with the tow? He does, yes.
132.85. That is insane.
Skip's still on lap here. Let's see what he can do. He's down in 7th place. He will really want to get up to Kaz and Lance on the grid. He won't want to start down there. To the line he goes. P4. So not the end of the world for Skip at all. And I think that's everyone. It is. That is everyone. Everyone's either finished or pitted or invalidated. As Rob and Spazzaman are both going to come round to take the flag. So what a quali session, and a great lap from Lance and Kaz right at the end. 6/10 clear of the rest of the field. So definitely the benchmark has been set by them two. And Skip, a little bit further off than he definitely would want, has a bit of work to do in the race.
I feel like we may see quite a battle between Kaz and Lance here. Like, if provided they don't kind of collide or have any kind of brutal squabbles throughout the course of the race, we could be seeing a very, very close race for first here. And with AJ and Skip following close behind, we'll just have to see how all this goes. But this is looking to be quite the interesting race.
Well, the championship does not die down, does it, in Division 2? This is the grid, and I'll run you through it. It's Kaz who takes yet another pole position by just over 1.5 tenths to Lance, and then 6 tenths back to AJ. Great lap from those two at the front of the field. So that's your top 3. And then it's Skip, Stevie, Rob, Spazzaman, Nick, Ange and Simi. Top 10. Golf, Ghost, Cody, Ecoy, Boris, All Day, Rab, Quad and Polly round off the grid. So Quad will definitely want to make a better fist of it in the race than he did in qualifying, as his home track. But that midfield battle once again, what's that, 3rd down to 8th within 1.5 seconds. Incredible.
That really is. Like, this is going to be very tough to commentate. There's going to be a lot going on, and only so much time to actually see it all. So, I mean, like, this is going to be very, very interesting indeed.
Absolutely, it always is in Division 2. We can be sure of that, and we'll see very shortly what the weather's going to be like. Obviously, the drivers have that information. We didn't, but we do now, and it looks pretty dull and cloudy. So, are you sure this isn't Silverstone? But yeah.
No, unfortunately, COTA doesn't give quite as good racing as Silverstone, in my opinion. But you know, I've only just noticed actually that the crowd's heads are just big squares.
Are they?
That could just be my graphic settings.
That might be just you, because they're not for me.
That's my graphic settings, definitely, because I've just seen on the stream.
You got a load of Minecraft people in the stands.
I do. Yeah. They're just perfectly cuboid heads. You could smell the polygons from here.
Yeah. Well, that's not on my screen, and well, maybe you have to turn maybe you got some on ultra low.
I probably do, honestly. I tend to prioritize frame rate in kind of more competitive games like F1, like Overwatch and kind of different shooters I might play. But if I'm playing like a story game, if I'm playing like Resident Evil or something like that, I'll typically crank the settings.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. As we wait for the drivers to get their strategies all sorted, tweak what they can on their setups, obviously within the rules of Parc Ferme, and then we'll get the formation lap underway, and we can talk through the tyres that everyone's decided. Now, it's a difficult one because you can do medium soft or soft medium, but safety cars can really impact the outcome of the race. We've seen a lot, especially in Division 1, where people who've started on the mediums have been kind of screwed a little bit by early safety cars. So that will definitely be a consideration that the drivers have when choosing what tyres to start this race on.
Yeah, safety cars can seriously change the course of a race, and it's especially with if we get some interesting weather later on, which this is kind of indicating we might, but we'll see. Then, like, a safety car around then, that will be huge for people coming in to change the enters. And then just timing with the safety cars as well can change everything.
Yeah, that is true. Safety car at any time is always going to mix up the race. We'll see. I mean, it's quite a lot of runoff here, so I can't see them being that many safety cars, but especially if they all behave themselves, as they are now away for the formation lap, and I will run through the tyres that people have selected. So, in fact, everyone in the top 7 has gone for mediums, then Nick has decided to go soft, and then it's the next 5, so Ange down to Cody on mediums, then it's Ecoy and Boris on softs, all down mediums, and then the bottom 3 on softs. So 12 of the top 13 deciding that mediums are the best tyre to start.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah, I'd probably be more inclined to agree with the medium runners here. Nick on that soft, he is gonna be quick off the start, but he's gonna be falling back very quick, and he can only kind of hope that that undercut will work. But yeah, if he can get a good start here on that soft, that's gonna play very well into his hands.
Yeah, and also, like we said, if there's a safety car around lap 5, 6, and he can dive onto the mediums, that's going to put him in a really good position to win. Well, not win, but definitely get himself up from that 8th place starting. I tell you what, the top 3 have absolutely gone, and Skip is very far behind.
I've noticed that now. Yeah, they've taken off. They're going to be very, very cold tyres sitting on that grid.
Yes. Yeah, the Kaz definitely wanting to get this race up and running. He's actually drifting a little bit there through that corner.
Yeah, I was seeing that at turn 1. I was seeing that at turn 1. Kaz just had a very big moment at the very, very top of turn 1.
He's going to be wearing his tyres out, surely.
It's going to be very interesting turn 1 here, because track seems to be a little bit slippy based on what I'm seeing here. As I think Kaz might have realised that he's ran away. He's trying to catch up.
Clearly hasn't heard about that you can just drag your brakes and it gets all the tire, heat in the tyres. But we move. He's now backed up Lance and AJ, and the rest of the field has caught up. So we'll very shortly get them all line up on the grid, and we'll get the race start. 20 laps around the circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, turn 1 here is definitely going to be interesting. It's a fairly infamous turn 1, and it's a tight turn 1. So we may see, and it's Div 2, so we may see some midfield collisions, may see some kind of first-second collision, but we'll just have to see. But I don't think Kaz and Lance would be very likely to collide there. I think they're.
Ooh, Kaz has missed his box and will start a little bit further back. Now it's not the end of the world, but that's gonna play a bit of mind games with him, I think, as Lance is gonna have a slight advantage. And down that inside, Lance will fancy his chances of maybe taking an early lead here, now that that's happened. Right, we're going to get 5 red lights very, very shortly. I can't actually see the lights from this camera angle. I can only see the top 2. That's 3, 4, 5. And lights are out, and away we go as Ecoy already gets a drive through for a jump start, and that's a terrible start from Lance, and he's been swallowed up by the pack. AJ and Skip going down his inside and outside. AJ's managed all the way around the outside, and he's taken both of them. We've got Stevie dropping down the field. Stevie in the wall, that's unfortunate for him, and side by side through there is Skip and Lance. AJ with a brilliant start up into 2nd place, and that is a virtual safety car.
That was a very, very rough beginning there. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but I did see Stevie possibly being pushed into a kind of a series of 3 cars, and then coming through those S's there was a big accordion of people just kind of smushed together, going 3, even 4 wide through those S's. So there's definitely damage. There's definitely some broken hearts and arms and elbows in there. So we're just going to have to see who are people. Probably going to see a few pits for wings here. But
well, Stevie will have to, because he's got no front wing down in 19th place. He's completely gone, so he will have to pit. I wonder if he'll decide to go onto the hards to the end. Obviously,
he may do. He has the ability to probably make that work. But I'm just kind of looking through the pack now, just trying to see if I see any missing front end plates or anything like that. Any kind of bent wings visually. But I think Stevie's definitely going to be the main person to pit. Maybe Ecoy tries to serve that drive-through.
Can't do it under the safety car. Oh, and we're going green flag. We're green flag. We're getting underway. So, and I'll tell you what, the 3 behind the leader, Kaz has had a great start, and he's already got quite a big gap with all the guys battling. But the 3 behind him are nose to tail, with Skip behind Lance, behind AJ. That's interesting to see. Another yellow. Who's that? That's Ecoy serving his drive through, like you said. Now that the safety car's gone in, he can do that. And it's Simi into the pits. I wonder
Yeah,
why he's gone in.
I did say there was a lot of very close action here coming through these S's that the leaders are coming through now. So I'd say there was probably a front end plate missing here or there for Simi.
Big slide for AJ there, coming running on board with Lance Fenton, the championship leader, of course. And he does not want to see one of his championship rivals driving off into the distance in P1 there, and he's going to want to get past AJ as soon as possible. And he might do it right now. Bad exit again from AJ. AJ struggling with the rear of that AlphaTauri, it seems. And it doesn't look like Lance is going to get an opportunity, even in the slipstream. He's going to have to wait for the DRS. But is that Skip and Nick going wheel to wheel now? So Skip must have made an error, and Nick on those soft tyres making the most of the grip round the outside. This will be a great move at the hairpin if he can make it stick. He's now going to have the inside line for the double right-hander, and he does get the move done. So Nick making those soft tyres work at the start beautifully.
Spaz is going to have a look now down the inside, also on Skip. Can't quite make that stick, but I don't know whether... so those soft tyres are definitely working for Nick, but I'm sure it's going to be infuriating for Lance seeing Kaz speed off into the distance, but he has gone past AJ. We seem to have missed that.
I wonder where that was. It gaps 2 seconds, so you know Kaz is nowhere near clear here, and now we're going to see the real pace of Lance. See what he can do against the undeniable form of Kaz, as that's late on the brakes there, and Spazzaman on Skip. It's a great move down the inside, and Skip falling back. This is not what we're used to seeing from the Italian.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Skip is if he may be suffering with maybe a bit of damage from that start there, but I did just see a very good move from Cody on the outside of Rob there, very wide through those S's. That seems to stuck that very well.
Once again, the father-son duo stuck together in the race, very similar pace, and Cody doing a great job. I don't think Rob will be very happy with that at all. He'll want to get back past as soon as possible, but yeah, up into 7th for Cody.
So a little step out from Spazzaman there, coming out of that hairpin onto the main straight. But gap between Lance and Kaz still around 2. But AJ, if he can keep this gap to Lance, he's going to grab... Whoa!
3 wide in the background, 3 wide between Ghost. That's Big Boris, Ghost and Rab seems to have got the move done on the both of them. Ghost is going to dive down the inside. Really late move into the double right-hander. That's a great overtake, and now Big Boris might get interested here. And Rab's going to dive back down the inside. These two not giving each other any room. No contact, I don't think. Let's see what Ghost does. Rab's wide, and Ghost is going to cut back on the inside. Remember, Rab on the soft compounds is off the track a little bit there. Ghost might have a look into the final corner. He's going to pull to the inside. He gets a snap, and he does stay behind for now. Great battling in the midfield there.
Amazing battling here between these three. The Ghost now is going to have DRS coming at Rab. He's going to try and get that move done before they get to the hairpin. And Rab is going to try and fight that. He takes a wider line, taking a bit of the curb here, but that's after leaving him open to Big Boris, who's going to have a look there, both on the inside and outside, coming into the S's and around them. But Boris taking a bit of a wide line into that first S there, but Rab still sticking very close to the rear of Ghost, as Big Boris there in the background, taking a bit of a detour around the turn.
Yeah, you got a penalty for that. I don't know if that must be 3 seconds for multiple warnings.
I presume so. Yeah, he just kind of went straight through there. I don't know how he didn't get absolutely demolished by the sausage curb, but here comes All Day with a bit of DRS. Gonna try and get that done. Skip
on Cody. So at some point Skip had fallen down behind Cody there, and now Rab and Ghost wheel to wheel. These guys not leaving each other alone, are they? In the Aston Martin and the Haas, as Ghost keeps that P10 for now. There's a lot of battles going on as Skip now looking at Spazzaman, and that held up Skip a little bit, and Cody's having a sniff as well, but he thinks better of it. And the top 3 have kind of pulled away a bit here, and they're leaving 4th down to 9th, all in the train to battle amongst themselves.
And it's a very, very good battle indeed, but Lance is slowly gaining on Kaz. I don't know whether that's Kaz making slight mistakes or Lance is just driving fast, But and AJ, oh, Spaz and Nick there having
Yep.
a
And in the
swapping
background,
positions.
oh, that's Cody. He hits the back of Nick Fury, man, and that is damage to the front wing of the AlphaTauri. He just went in too hot. I hope for Nick's sake he doesn't have any rear wing damage there, but Cody's probably going to have to come in. That was quite a bit of carbon fibre that came off that car. It's a shame.
That's a missing front end plate that I'm seeing right there.
Yeah.
That's not going to play very well for Cody. Who was having a very, very good race up until this point with some very nice overtakes there that I saw. But I think Andrew's going to have a look at him here now coming into the hairpin. He's going to stick behind him. We say he's going to wait for the DRS. But no, that's really unfortunate for Cody.
It is. He was doing really well up in 7th place. I'll tell you what, Spazman is really quick. He's gained over half a second in that sector alone on AJ, and I think he'll be within DRS very, very soon.
Ooh, Nick and Skip there as Skip had a look, but Nick just got that better line going through there and closed that door very quick. And was that Ange going a bit wide there?
Yeah, Cody got position back even with the damage.
Yeah, he's still fighting Cody, to be fair. Like, he is still very he is still keeping his own. He's holding Ange back, but we'll just have to see now if he's going to dip into the pit to try and fix this. I don't know if he is. He's not. He's going to stay out and fight Ange.
He's definitely understeering a lot, though. You can see from his onboard, he's got no grip on the front, and he's used all of his ERS as well. He's got the lowest amount of ERS in that whole group, and now Skip is going to go on Nick, but Nick dives back down the inside. He's never making that, and he doesn't.
Very
and
wide.
Skip makes the place, and Ange behind
just
also makes
Cody
it.
as well, yeah.
Yeah. Very good battling in this, and now look at Spazman. I told you he had pace, and he's now within, well, about half a second, just over half a second behind AJ, and well within that DRS to attack down the back straight. And Lance as well, actually. I didn't even notice. Lance is now within a second of Kaz, and with more ERS.
When did that happen?
Lance has good pace, or either that or Kaz made an error.
I have a feeling that Kaz may have made a slight error there, but I did see in the background we were focused on Skip and Nick. Big Boris and All Day having a very big tussle there, coming onto the back straight. But Lance all over the back of Kaz now. He's definitely going to be wanting to make a move on the inside, coming into turn 1.
Especially now that
even get it done under
especially
DRS.
now that Spazman has, who we know has a lot of pace, and you can see on the Delta getting closer and closer, has now got past AJ at the first time of trying, and is pulling out really quickly on the AlphaTauri. But yeah, Lance all over the back, like a quarter of a second now between the two of them.
Go.
And remember, Lance hasn't won a race since round 2 in Miami. That's how long it's been. He's just been super consistent with the podiums to keep his lead, but he hasn't won a race, and this might be the lead going for Kaz. And coming for Lance down the inside, he's kind of a bit of a MotoGP-esque block pass, but the switchback is going to happen with Kaz, and they're going to go wheel to wheel still, but Lance will get the inside line, and that is a lead change, and Lance Fenton leads the Grand Prix in the McLaren. Good stuff.
Very, very good stuff, but Kaz isn't letting him go that easy. He's sticking to the back of him. Only 4/10 between them now, but will Lance be able to kind of pull away? He's going to have DRS to fight with. Kaz has about 40% of his battery, and so he's definitely going to be using that as well to try and catch up to him. But Lance has that little bit more battery, so he might be able to kind of fend them off, but that DRS is going to be really powerful. He's already gained 8/10 over Kaz.
Yeah. Lance has a lot of pace here. Lance and Spazman both have a lot of pace here, and I think Kaz might be struggling a little bit for race pace. Maybe the setup killing his tyres, or running a little bit higher downforce. And I'll tell you what, if he loses the DRS from Lance, he's going to have to watch out behind, because Spazman is also pulling AJ with him.
Yeah, and Spaz has gained 3 seconds, or not 3 seconds, 3/10 to that Kaz and Lance battle. So I'm expecting in the next couple of laps we may see Spaz kind of join in with this fight. But I will say that I did spot down in 8th, Ange is actually ghosted.
Yeah, he's just rejoined. He should be taking back control of his car. I think he had a disconnection.
I didn't see that.
He's not lost as much as he could, which is good to see. Currently still down in 8th place, so good points for McLaren as it stands. And I'll tell you what, Kaz has DRS, but that gap did go up to over a second, very briefly.
Nick moving slowly there? or am I? Is that just my perspective?
He's got a 5-second penalty for something.
I
Not
did
quite
see that
sure
pop
what
up, but
for.
he's dropped really far back behind Skip. I don't know whether he was going slowly or because he was sticking to the pit wall, side of the main straight there.
I have
But
no idea
I'm
what
not
that was
quite sure
about.
what's gone on there.
Unless he's encountered some sort of pit lane glitch where he's tried to come in and
Ooh.
he's big slide there.
Yeah, he
Nick's
kind of
in
drifted
trouble.
around that turn. That opens the door for Rob.
Nick's in trouble. He's losing lots of time, seconds per corner. He's got no speed. I'm not quite sure what's happened here. Whether maybe he's hit a wall and got floor rear wing damage or something.
My guess is some form of floor or body damage. But I don't know if body damage would decrease your speed that much. But I would say if he's got floor damage, that would kind of explain that drift around the S's there. He's gonna have a look to get his place back on Rob, but I don't know if he has damage. I don't think he's gonna get that done.
Look on
I did
board.
also just spot actually. Spaz is only 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Kaz has dropped 1.5 seconds.
Yeah,
from
Lance is on a flyer at the moment on these medium tyres, looking very good out front to take his 3rd win of the season. But we're not even halfway through yet, and anything can happen, as we know, in these races. But really good stuff from Lance at the moment.
Kaz is into the pits as well.
Yeah, Kaz is in the pits. Kaz, that's very early. Those softs, he's going to have to take those softs a long way into this race.
Yeah.
And he's going to be struggling at the end, but going for the undercut clearly, and it has worked out for him before. So we will see where that brings Kaz out.
Nick
He'll
also in
hope.
the pits, Rabzog in the pits.
He'll hope he comes out in a little bit of pocket of space and not behind anyone that's going to hold him up. But saying that, he's going to be right behind Golf Maniac, so he's going to want to get back past him right now as he's tucked right behind the rear wing of the Haas car. Going into the S section, he's going to have to follow through here on his cold, soft tyres, but then we'll definitely get past with DRS down the straight.
Yeah, that new rubber is definitely going to carry him through the straight here. But how far it'll get him, I'm not quite sure. I mean, if it only got him 8 laps on the medium, like how bad's the dag on the softs going to be? You know, like the only other person I've seen. Actually, Quaden has 8 lap softs, Boris 8 lap softs, and probably Valar.
As
Also,
Ange blasts past Ghost on the DRS. Ghost is not going to let this one go though, down the inside. Tell you what, Ghost has been very good in his racecraft today, trying to defend it, and very clean from these two as he gets the switch back, and there is a little bit of contact. Ghost almost spins, but it's a great save from the Aston Martin driver. Both not given an inch, and luckily they're both still pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, Ghost has been very, very competitive there this race. He's been any fight he can put himself into. He's been going for it, and he's not letting any of his positions go without a fight. But I think that could be kind of tearing away at his tires a bit. It's gonna affect his performance. Like, he is sliding around the place. I say he may want to think about pitting and also using a bit of his regen because his battery is flat.
Yes. Yeah, and I tell you what, we've hit a bit of a lull in this race. The only battle on track, well, there's 2 battles actually on track that are within a second. One of them is, who is it? Simi and Rab down in 15th, although Rab and Simi have just pitted, so no. And Ange and Ghost. And everyone else is nicely spaced out, so we're starting to see the dirty air effect coming into play here. And Lance is keeping that gap nicely at 4 seconds, controlling this race very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, if Lance can get his mediums to another couple of laps, if he can carry them a little bit further, gain a bit more of a bit more distance, then those softs are really gonna come through to their own on him.
And Shamida's left again. That's another disconnection. That's unfortunate. He had actually gained a few positions back up to 6th. That's really not good for him.
Well, I mean, Ghost is going to be very happy with that. He can just breeze right on through, and he won't have to actually fight him. And
There's
there it
also
goes.
Kaz as well behind, who's going to join this one. And I wonder how much of a team player Ghost is going to be this time. We saw him working together in qualifying, and I can't see Ghost holding up Kaz in this sense, as Polly Belay is out of the race. That looks like a pit lane retirement to me. As the leader's in. Lance is in. 4 soft tyres.
looking
Clean
like
stop,
a
clean
decent
stop, yeah.
stop.
As he comes back out, he is going to be behind Kaz, but remember Kaz is going to have quite old tyres at the end. So we'll see what the pace is like for Lance.
Yeah, I mean, Lance, he's kind of been... Well, he does have Ange to give him a bit of DRS here, and he can just fly past him on the straight. He doesn't really need to worry about him. But who's that going?
That was Polly. That's Polly's
there?
AI that's come back out onto the circuit and is currently going really slow in the S section. I'm trying to get someone's onboard. Here we go, onboard with Nick.
Okay,
Oh, it's gone now. It's gone now.
It's gone.
So luckily that will not affect the race. As Skip has now closed up to the back of AJ and has got the DRS open on that Williams, but he's not going to be close enough this time around to make a move for second place. We're also going to see, I imagine, the two McLarens swap positions. We do.
Kaz on Rob there, actually, just coming off the straight, and then Lance on Ange. But Lance doesn't have too far to go to catch up to Ghost. But then past Ghost, he's going to have quite the stint ahead of him to catch up to Rob, and from there to Kaz.
You've got to remember though, Kaz's tyres are what, 3 laps old? And we know the dead ground here is quite high, especially on the front tyres, especially with that first sector. So Lance it's going to be advantage Lance for the final 5 or so laps in this race, as Spazman now pits from the lead, and so does Ghost. So Ghost has done exactly what Lance would have wanted him to, given him DRS, and then got out of the way.
Perfect, so that's after working out for Lance, and I don't think, no one's going to get in his way to between him and Kaz. So he's his eyes set on his enemy here. He's gonna have to just keep the consistency up, keep doing what he was doing, and hopefully the soft tires play well for him. He seemed to like his mediums, so we'll just have to see how well these softs do for him.
Yeah, purple first sector, and that gap is coming down. I tell you what, Lance has pace on this track in the race. He's doing really well, and he's brought the gap down by about a second since he got given the DRS by Ghost. So we're definitely going to see, I reckon, a battle for the lead come the end of this race.
On AJ there, at the end of the straight.
Ooh, AJ almost into the back there, he's late on the brakes, and he almost hit Skip, but they get away with that. And Skip now takes the current lead, but the net lead is obviously with Kaz down in third place. These two haven't stopped yet. They're still on the mediums that they started the race with. And anything going on? We've got Rab on Ghost now for P8. Not close enough that time around for the Haasman. And then everyone else in the top 10 is a bit spread out at the moment.
Yeah, it's very spread out, but I'm seeing quite a few penalties. AJ's after ducking into the pits there, actually. So we'll see how that goes for him. But the main thing that we're waiting for here, I think, is just for Lance and to catch up to Kaz, or even if he can. But that gap is closing, but is it closing quick enough? It's just kind of a matter of time before Kaz's tires start to fall away. But Lance, he's being very consistent here. He may have to pick up the pace if he wants to reach him before the end of the race.
That's Anshhamid on Rab, and Ghost on Nick. Nick on those 4-lap old hard tyres has no defence against Ghost on the brand new soft tyres, and Ghost doing a great job up into 7th position, and Ange also doing a great job up into 9th. So 2 overtakes there, and like you said, the gap now down to 3 seconds between the 2 net leaders of this race.
Yeah, so that gap is closing, but and like I was saying, kind of at the start of the race when we were looking at the tyres, I was saying that those soft runners, they're really going to be struggling at the end of the race, and the fact that 2 of them here, or that we have 2 people here on the hards that don't seem to have too much pace in them, like those hards aren't really coming to life. So I think the right strategy call here was definitely medium to soft, but we'll just have to see if this kind of pitting later on rather than earlier is going to pay off. But by the looks of Lance to Kaz, that time's still dropping. So I think Lance, after getting some temps into those tires, they're starting to come alive for him.
2.2 the gap now between Lance and Kaz, so definitely advantage Lance for now. He's got 2 or 3 lap old fresher soft tyres, which will do him really nice at the end of this race. As we watch the battle for 8th place with Nick and Ange. Ange all over the back of the Alpine, and he's probably going to get the move done here. He's all over the back, and he pulls out to the left-hand side, and he will take that position from Nick. So that's another position gain for the McLaren team, who obviously currently lead the Constructors' Championship as well as the Drivers' Championship with Lance, of course. So any points for them will bring them closer to that goal of Constructors' Champions. So a good job by both of them.
Nick's really not letting Ange go here. He wants that place back, and he wants it back badly. He has a penalty, and he's gonna want to get as far away from the cars behind him as he can. Try not to drop down too far. He's keeping within 5/10 of him. Gonna come onto the back straight here. He may have a look at something with DRS, but he has no battery. He just has DRS.
Yeah, and also note Rabzog also has a penalty behind, but in other news, the gap between Kaz and Lance is now 6/10 of a second. Kaz struggling.
When does this happen? I look away at something else, I look back, and Lance is just there.
I think Kaz is struggling. He's not really gaining that much on Skip, who's obviously not pitted. He's clearly waiting for a safety car as Skip, because he's still not coming in. With 5 laps to go, he's been on those medium tyres since the beginning of the race, and now Lance might have a look. He's not quite close enough this time around, and he's got double the ERS as well that Kaz has, so not quite sure what's going on with Kaz. He had the pace in qualifying, but it doesn't look like he's very comfortable in the car in the race.
I don't think Skip's going to be able to hold on for too much longer. Those mediums is definitely starting to fall away under him, and they are by far the oldest tyres on the track. The next oldest is Ecoys with 7, and Skips are double that. So
he's going to drop really far down, Skip, because he's stayed out so long and everyone behind him's pitted, and the undercut is so powerful. We saw that with Kaz, who came in and gapped Lance by about 5 seconds. So I don't know why Skip's done this, because it would have been a P4 or 3 had he just pitted with everyone else, but it looks like he's going to drop really far down, and he's not going to have much time either to make up those positions, as Lance now down the inside of Kaz gets the move done, and that is a provisional race lead for Lance. A great job. He's got great pace, and he's making it count.
Simi gets is that a second 3-second penalty, or is that first one? First one. But that's huge for Lance. If Lance can keep this gap now and get past Skip, because Skip is probably going to be holding up. Look at that interval drop.
Yeah.
That gap between them went from a second to 6/10 in the
Skip
blink
stays
of an eye.
out.
Skip, I don't know what Skip is going for here. Like, if he knew quite how spaced out this pack was, I'd say he would have ducked into this laps ago. But I don't know what his plan is here. He's only
It would have been to stay out
stuff.
for a safety car, I imagine, while he's still got track position, because he knows if a safety car does come out now, everyone behind him will pit. But as soon as on this lap, if there isn't a safety car in the next 30 seconds, it's going to all have been for nothing. He's going to lose a lot of time, as the extra grip that the McLaren has is so apparent through this first S section, and I feel like it's going to be a bit like taking candy from a baby down this DRS straight.
It's going to be very, very easy for Lance. You can kind of see there also, I've kind of like an aerial view here, but is Lance going to go around the outside here?
Nah, I think he'll try and focus on the exit and just get the rear wing open.
He gave an attempt at it, but you know, and also there's a very interesting line that I see Lance taking coming out of that turn, going like directly over that.
Ooh, that's a late defensive move from Skip there. Drifts into the path of Lance, and there is actually contact between the two drivers, but Lance still gets the move done very bravely down the inside, and Skip's still trying to fight this. I don't know why. There's no way he's going to make that work on 16 lap old medium tyres, and Lance now into the lead of the race.
He has to pit here. He has no other option. Like, if he leaves this any further, he's just dooming himself lap by lap by lap. He only has...
He stays out.
He's going to stay out.
He's going to try and get back past, I think, with the DRS, but I can't see it. He's got no ERS to attack with, and Lance has quite a bit. There's no way Lance is going to let him by. And then there's also Kaz, who's going to get by him soon, surely, too.
I really don't think this is played to Skip the way he thinks it has. Like, the only other close battle in the entire track is all day close to Simi there at the back, but like he's basically banking on that either Kaz and Spaz, who I've only just realized one rhymes and two is very very close to this battle now.
Yeah.
They crash together or something else happens somewhere up or down the track, but I really don't think we're gonna get a safety car here. I think Skip's just kind of doomed himself.
You got to remember when it clocks over to lap 18, the game will not bring out a safety car with 2 or 3 laps to go. It won't do it, and because the game does not allow for the race to end under safety car. So I think Skip has really screwed himself a little bit here, as Kaz is now going to go for a move, and that might invite Spazzaman. And was that a bit of contact in the back of the Williams there? I didn't quite see from onboard Kaz, his rear wing. And Skip though. Skip's hung it out. For some reason, he's still fighting this battle. And this is going to invite Spazzaman to go down the inside. He shows a nose and thinks better of it eventually and backs out, and they remain the way they were before.
Is Skip being paid by Lance to hold up Kaz or something?
It looks like it.
This doesn't make sense. Why is he still fighting?
Is he going to come in? He's got to pit. Oh, he's pitting now.
Okay, he's coming in now. But,
like he would have been disqualified if he didn't pit in the next couple of laps. He is pitting now, and he's going to drop really far down. This is the battle we want to see though. The battle for P2. I think Lance is gone, and this is going to be Lance's first win since round 2. But Spazzaman is on the hunt here, possibly for a P2 and to take more points off Kaz.
It's going to be very very interesting here for this final. For these positions here at the 2nd and 3rd. Spazzaman he's just...
Sorry, I was looking at Skip and he made contact and he's behind Ange, Lance's teammate, which you really couldn't write. And he's going to try and go past him. They made contact to the first corner, and I don't think Skip's going to be particularly happy with that one, and he's now stuck behind him for this whole first sector, which is not what he wants.
I mean, Skip's done this to himself. There's really, like, unless he can do something magical in 2 laps, he may at most get past Ghost. That's my idea here. But Spazman very very close to the back of Kaz. At the end of that straight, he definitely went for something that I didn't see. Where he's just sticking around him. I don't know if he's gonna try and do something here on this straight. But I think Spazzaman wants that 2nd place and he wants it bad.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where Kaz's pace has gone from qualifying. He just has not seemed to get, it just hasn't clicked for him in the race today. And Lance has been untouchable really for the race pace today. And Spazzaman too, I think they've been definitely the pace setters over these 20 laps. And we might see a move here, although I wouldn't be surprised if Spazzaman waits till the long straight. See the red light at the back of that Aston Martin flashing means that Kaz is below 10% of his ERS deployment. That's also going to encourage Spazzaman because he's got 25% left. So he's got even more power to play with, along with the DRS and the slipstream.
There's also penalties flying all around the place now. I think I saw about 2 or 3 pop up there while you were talking there. But now neither of them have a lot at all. But just that extra bit of percentage there for Spazzaman. He's kind of up to about 30% now almost, but he has to get this done on the straight either this lap or next. But I feel
he's got 2 or 3 opportunities now with the DRS wide open. He's within 0.4 of a second. He's not deploying any ERS, and he's probably going to get the move done here in the slipstream. He's lifting off. So Spazzaman wants to wait till the final lap.
He's giving us something to get excited about.
They're playing some mad DRS games now. Look at them. They're backing off for each other. Look at the gap that's grown now to Lance, 6 seconds. Oh, I don't know what. Is that a brake check there from Kaz? I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I don't think they realise where the detection point actually is. There's a few corners on, guys. You don't need to brake check each other there, but that was close to damage for Spazzaman.
Very, very close. I don't know what Spazzaman is looking for here. I actually, now that I've said it, I know exactly what he was looking for there. He's intentionally sticking behind Kaz because he knows Kaz is going to stick behind him. He's going to save a little bit of that pace. Kaz is going to stick behind him and he's going to get him on that back
Yeah.
straight.
And
What we're saying that Spazman's going to do.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense for him to do it now. He might as well do it on this lap here when he doesn't have a chance to get overtaken again.
But all that kerfuffle in the final sectors meant he's dropped a bit of time, and it's not going to be as easy as he maybe thought. And it all depends on how fast he is through this first sector. The gap now growing to over 0.8 of a second. He's going to have to be closer. He's going to have to be a lot closer, but Kaz makes a little error. The gap drops back down to 0.5. Out in front, Lance going on to the the long back straight, 8 seconds ahead of these two. So he will go unchallenged for the win of this Grand Prix, as Skip's made his way up into P5 as well. So decent recovery from him, as we now watch on board with Spazman fully deploying all of his ERS, all of the DRS, and yeah, that's an absolute slam dunk, nothing Kaz could do, and Spazman takes P2 in this race.
I think Lance had a moment there, just kind of at the end of the straight, like the hairpin. I think he had a slide, but he is still well ahead of these two.
He is.
Kaz is definitely going to want to try and get back at him. He's certainly having looks, but I don't think he has the pace. He certainly doesn't have the battery. And Spazman.
As we cut to Lance, who rounds the final corner. It's a dream day in the championship. His first win since round 2 in Miami. Lance takes the win here in COTA. A great result, 8 seconds clear. And not a great day for his championship rivals, and that will fill him with a lot of confidence going forward. It's Spazman who takes a great P2, followed by Kaz, who rounds out the podium. Then it'll be AJ in P4, Skip not quite getting not quite getting AJ, and then it's Ghost with a great P6. Rob will drop to P8 behind Ange with that penalty. Then it'll be Golf taking 2 points, and I believe it'll be Cody who takes that final point. When penalties are applied, he does. So good recovery after his damage as well at the start of the race. But wow, that was some great driving from Lance and also Spazman as well to become P1 and 2.
Yeah, that thing from Spazman there at the end where he just intentionally held off over the overtake, and we're sitting here like, why isn't he overtaking? Just waiting that little bit, knowing that Kaz isn't going to be able to come back at him. He doesn't have the ERS, he doesn't have the pace. That was so smart from Spazman. Yeah, it was just something that you really love to see in Formula 1 and in racing, is that strategy coming into play there. But yeah, Lance's pace there was just insane. Like he's just on fire from the beginning.
I think what you were saying about him not liking this track may have been
I was about to say
not the most accurate information. Is his first win, like I said, since round 2, and a very much needed one. A great day for him in the championship. That extends his lead by 10 points to Kaz and by even more to Skip. So with only 2 rounds left, Lance is in a really great position, and for the first time since round 2. I don't even know if we were doing this at round 2, but we are going to hear the Irish national anthem very shortly, which has been a long time coming. But before we do that, I'll run you through the grid order, and you can let us know who you think our driver of the day is. Crayon.
Okay. I'm torn between Lance and Spazman, but I think I might hand it to Spazman just for that bit of ingenuity at the end. That really, I really like to see stuff like that in racing, and I think that was something that's really commendable from Spazman. But we can't completely ignore Lance. That pace was simply incredible.
It was. And could I also get the chat as well to give us their verdict for driver of the day, please? And then we will get whoever that is hopefully in the commentary box. As we run through our order, Lance wins for the 3rd time in Division 2 with Spazman and Kaz on the podium with him. Spazman taking fastest lap of the race, and then it's AJ, Skip, Ghost, who did a great job from P12, so he's my driver of the day today. And Shamid, Rob, Golf, Cody, top 10, and then Nick, Quad, Rab, Simi, All Day, Boris, Stevie and Polly. Polly DNFing, of course. And that is it. I can't see any. I can't actually see the chat. Oh, there we go. Who we going for? Who we got driver of the day calls for? Lance, Cody, Ghost, Spazman. Yeah, Ghost said himself, so I'm not going to count that one. So um, we've got 2 votes for Lance, so I think it will be Lance who's driver of the day. So he takes the win
I thought, no, it's
and
three.
driver of the day.
Oh no, there is two. Never mind.
As we're now to the national anthems. It's been a long time coming, I believe, that we heard that we're going to hear the Irish national anthem.
Oh, I can't wait.
And here we go then. Lance Fenton, Irish national anthem. There we have it then, the Irish national anthem ringing out for another Lance win. It's been a long time coming for the McLaren driver. He finally takes his 3rd win of the season in round 14, and we will very shortly get the drivers into the chat for us to interview, and I'll just ping them in the chat. And like I said, Lance driver of the day as well. So we will just get the leaders in. Let me just tag him. Lance. It was Lance, Spazerman, and Kaz, wasn't it?
Kaz, yeah. It was nice hearing the Irish national anthem. There was a proud moment.
Yes, definitely, and I think it's the first time we've actually heard it this year as well. So,
Yeah.
good stuff. I believe the guys, all 3 of them, are in the chat. So, yes, I will react to that. Okay, we're going to join them in the Drivers 2 chat now, and if you could... Actually, you can interview P2, I'll interview P3, and... Oh, they're coming into the commentary box. We've got all of them in the commentary box. Fair enough. We don't have to move down. Okay, so I'll start with our P3 man then. Kaz, incredible qualifying from yourself. That banker lap was amazing. We were just absolutely gobsmacked here in the commentary box, and we also saw a bit of team play going on with your teammate. Was that the plan, or was that just kind of a coincidence?
Complete chance. Shout out to Ghost, by the way, if he's watching this. What a teammate. What he's done in that race and quali was great. He actually told me in the team chat he slowed down. Like, this was not organised. He told me he slowed down so I could get the toe.
Nice.
And I was like, that pole is ours, because I don't think without that toe I wouldn't have beat Lance. Not at all. The lap was made on that toe.
It was a really good lap, and your banker as well. But in the race, we noticed you had a really good start and you got a really good gap. And then once Lance cleared AJ, he just seemed to have a lot more pace than you. Were you struggling, or was Lance just that much better today?
A mix. Lance is an amazing driver, and he just had that confidence to push the car. But with tyres and a mix of tyres, maybe it was the setup being a bit twitchy, I couldn't get a hold of the car after the throttle. And that cost me, like, huge. And I think when Lance got into DRS, I had an off because I couldn't control the car. So it allowed Lance to have that gap. And once he was through, There was just a different class between me and Lance today.
One more thing. I noticed during the formation lap you were doing a bit of hoonigan, like Ken Block drifting. Was that part of the plan?
No,
were you just trying to cook your rear tyres, or...?
No, that's the setup. That was me feeling out the setup for the race, because I usually do that on a formation lap. I feel out how I'm going to race. And then the spins started happening and the drifting, I was like, this isn't right. But yeah, kudos to Lance and thank you to Ghost.
Yeah, well, definitely not the end of the world. P3 is still really good, and of course, your other championship rival, Skip down in P5, means that you move closer, if not slightly ahead of him. I haven't done the maths, but you two will be very close together going into the final 2 rounds. So congrats on the P3.
Thank you.
Crane, if you want to take P2 man, Spazman.
Yeah, Spazman, that was some drive, man. So what was that? Was P7 to P2? How are you feeling about how you performed today?
Oh, my heart hasn't stopped beating. Oh, that was that was a very nice race.
Yeah, you had some really, really, really insane pace today. Like you were making gaps disappear like that. Did you have any particular thing with your setup? Did you have any help from anyone on the track?
No, it was pretty. My setup always helps. No, the setup was designed for me, so that always helped on how I drive. And then it's just basically since turn 1, I got straight into P5, and from then it was just take my time, overtake people. As soon as I got past AJ, it was just head down, catch up.
Yeah, so and we kind of noticed there on the last kind of couple of laps there, you kind of sticking behind Kaz, and then only overtaking on the last lap. Was that planned? Was that a thing you had in your head?
Yes, that was planned. The
Yeah.
DRS is very powerful on this track. If I was to overtake him a couple of laps before, he could have overtaken me again, and he could have got P2. So it was all planned.
Yeah, that's what I was good. That's what I was assuming up in the commentary box. I was kind of saying, oh, he's thought of that. But amazing race today. If you have anything else you'd like to say.
Oh no, it was brilliant race for Lance and amazing fighting with Kaz. It's Lance today. I thought I would have had a chance to at least keep up with him, but he was just flying, not a chance. So he was on a different league today.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and I guess I'll hand back to Dodo for P1.
Of course, yeah. We move on to the race winner. First time since round 2 and that you've won a race, and your 3rd win of the season. A massive time to do it as well for the championship. You must be absolutely elated with that race. Talk us through what that race was like for you, Lance.
A bit chaotic, to be perfectly honest. Off the start, I couldn't get any traction whatsoever, and then just hung behind AJ. The VSC happened. And then once the VSC cleared, I just pushed to try and get past AJ, because I knew I was feeling very comfortable after the first couple of laps. The car seemed to warm very well. The mediums seemed to treat me a lot better than races previous, and it just seemed to sit down for me, and I was able to push harder than I have been in the last few races, and with more confidence in the car. Then coming into the pit stops, I mean, Kaz pitted very early. I was really surprised how early he pitted. I was steadfast on going 11 laps on the mediums. I cut it back to 10 just to make sure I'd not get undercut too much. But then, yeah, just got the head down once I was on the softs. The softs felt nice. They wore very well. And then... came up on Skip. I'm not sure what the strategy was there. I was kind of surprised to see him still on the mediums from the start, and other than that, I was just, the car seemed to sit down for me. I was thrilled.
Yeah, it was an incredible race. You had great pace, and I think Skip was waiting for a safety car, if I was guessing correctly, but it didn't materialise in the end. And this win is not only big for yourself, it's also big for the constructors, and Ange also scoring good points. You two confident that you can maybe round out both championships this season?
Well, I mean, the Ange has been bringing home the bread for a fair few races now. I have to say, fair play to him, and thank you for even today, and especially last week. He's just been the ideal teammate. He's been sharing setups with me and stuff like that. He's been the ultimate support for a teammate. And others that have helped, really, to be honest, is Finexi. He's just been... I asked him for a bit of advice, and he's just given more than he could even... I can't even describe how much he's helped for my pace here. He just explained a few things, and they clicked in my mind. I have to say, it's just... I'm surprised, to be honest. I thought... I thought people would be quicker, so I was scared going in. I definitely wasn't confident coming in here because I thought everyone would be so way quicker. To be
Well,
honest.
as it turns out, you were the pace setter and another winner, third winner of the season, like I said. And to top it off, you were voted by our chat as driver of the day. So congratulations on that one as well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Right then, thanks to all three of our podium sitters. Well done on Lance for the win and driver of the day. And I guess we will end it there. Once again, thank you very much to Crayon for stepping in. Obviously, hopefully we'll have Finexi back next week, but you've been an incredible person to have alongside me in the commentary box, and I appreciate you coming and helping out.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's always a joy to sit in the commentary box, watch a bit of good racing. So thank you very much for having me.
No problem at all. And of course, in about 45 minutes or so, you can watch the Division 1 boys go at it. And under the watchful eye, of course, of Simi and AJ. But until then, it's goodbye from me and goodbye from FQ. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.